Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming here today and giving to me an opportunity to conduct a presentation. Before I start my presentation, let me introduce myself. I am Bambang Sukmadi. Just call me Bambang. I am working in Qatar Gas since 2006. Around 10 years. Qatar Gas is the LNG company because it's related with my presentation. Okay, before I start my presentation, if you have any question during my presentation, just hold it up to finish my presentation and you can ask anything. Okay, now we will start my presentation. This is about LNG. This is related with my job. LNG, or you can call liquefied natural gas. My agenda for this presentation is divided, become 6 sessions. First, introduction. Second, what is LNG? Third is general LNG production process. And then next, LNG exporters. Next, LNG market. And then the advantages of LNG. And then the last session is about question. Okay, now we will start first session about introduction. You know, Qatar is having the largest gas field in the world. They call South Parts and North Dome field. This gas field divided become 2 countries between Iran and Qatar. You can see in the picture. This gas field, this cover area is around 9,700 square kilometer, in which 3,700 square kilometer belong to Iran and 6,000 square kilometer belong to Qatari. And then how about the reserve, gas reserve in the earth, the reservoir? You can see 500 trillion cubic feet for the Iran and 1,300 trillion cubic feet for the Qatar, so total around 1,800 trillion cubic feet. Imagine, very big gas field. On 29 October 2007, Qatar Gas CEO Mr. Faisal Al-Suwaidi stated 5 years moratorium for the development or project in Qatar, because this Qatar Petroleum worried about the development was very quick. It will affect the reservoir inside of the earth. Here you can see how many projects at that time and how much they took, around 23,000 million metric cubic per day. It is taken by so many companies like Qatar Gas, Ras Gas, Alkalit, Dolphin and PGTL. Okay, now we go to next session about what is LNG. LNG is natural gas that has been cooled and condensed to become liquid. It has minus 161 degrees Celsius temperature, atmospheric pressure, and volume is reduced 600 times. You can see from the picture how much is storage required to store the gas in the pump of the gas, and compared to how much storage to store the LNG. For LNG is very small. By this thing, it can make easy for transportation to send the LNG to other continent, country, or you can send also locally. This LNG is used for cooking, heating, and power generation. The liquefaction process are remove all contaminant like S2S, CO2, mercaptan, and other things. For the LNG composition, it is set by market, by buyer, how much they want composition. Composition of C1, C2, C3 depend on the buyer. The buyer normally from Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan. In the US, LNG also used for the alternative fuel for public transportation. And you can see this composition of LNG. 95% it is methane, and 5% is other. Others, what is that? Other is like C2. C2 is ethane. C3 is propane, and others. The properties of LNG is having explosive limit around 5 up to 15%. So between this range, LNG will explode. And then having formula is GH4. Boiling point is minus 161.6 degrees Celsius. And appearance is colorless gas. For the calorific value is 1000 BTU per standard cubic foot. What is the application of LNG? This LNG is the simplest hydrocarbon other than hydrocarbon because it can produce the most heat per unit mass. Also, this LNG, which is contain methane, it is important for the electrical generation. It is using for the turbine or steam boiler. LNG also, which is contain methane, it is potential as a rocket fuel. The research is being conducted by NASA. Okay, now we are going to general LNG production process. I will explain to you only basic or simple process for the LNG. The gas from reservoir or gas well, it is sending to field processing to remove impurities and then transmit by pipeline going to liquefaction unit. In this liquefaction unit, this gas is cooled and condensed to become LNG. After become LNG, it is going to storage. The storage taken by tanker for shipping. From the tanker, it is going to receiving terminal. From this receiving terminal, it will send to buyer or market. Now a little bit more detail about the process. You can see the gas from the pipeline as a feed gas sending to treatment unit to remove the impurities. The impurities such as CO2, mercury, H2S, water, and nitrogen. After that, this product we call sweet gas and dry gas. and then it is sending to heat exchanger. It is the main process for the LNG. Without this process, we cannot produce the LNG. This gas here, it is cool and condensed to reach minus 259. To get the LNG, we need the equipment. This we call compressor. This compressor is compressed is refrigerant. Refrigerant is to make cool the gas. From here, LNG sending to storage. From the storage is going for shipping. Now, I will explain to you about the lean and rich LNG, because some buyer they need lean LNG and other buyers need rich LNG. I will explain to you what is the difference between lean and rich. You can see for the composition, for the lean LNG is contain C1, C2 and nitrogen. How about rich LNG? Rich LNG is contain C1, C2, C3, C4 and nitrogen. So here there are two different, C3 and C4. How about this calorific value? Lean LNG is having 1000 BTU standard cubic foot, and then rich LNG having 1100. For the cost, if we compare, the lean LNG is less around 10 up to 15% compare the rich LNG. Okay, in Qatar Gas, we have three assets, is KG1, KG2 and KG3 and 4. But I will explain to you only about KG1 and KG2 process. For KG2 is having feed gas rate around 1350 million metric square cubic per day. KG1 is 550. For LNG rate is 2300 metric cubic per hours. For KG1 is produced 950 metric cubic per hours. For the specification, already I explained to you before, between lean and rich. KG1 is rich, and KG2 is lean LNG. The gas from the offshore for the KG2 is wet gas, but for the KG1 is dry gas. For KG2, it will have only one mercury removal, and for the KG1 it has two mercury removal. This mercury removal, this function is to remove the mercury, which is this mercury is very harm for our heat exchanger. This heat exchanger is made from the aluminum. If it is mercury react with the aluminum will damage. KG2 has 6 dryer, KG1 is has 3 dryer. For the refrigerant, KG2 has 3 refrigerant. For KG1, 2 refrigerant, C3 and MR. For KG2, C3, MR and nitrogen. Okay, now we are going to the LNG export. When I came join with Qatar Gas, at that time is Indonesia is the biggest LNG producer at that time. But when 2011 or 2011, the Qatar become the largest LNG producer in the world. You can see Qatar is having 37%, and then second Malaysia 14.7%, and the third Indonesia 13.5%. And more detail you can see here. Indonesia is from Botang, Arun, and Tangguh. For the Qatar, from KG1, KG2, KG3, and 4, and Ras Gas. Now, I will show you more detail about how much they produce. In Qatar, there are two main company LNG producer. Is Qatar Gas and Ras Gas. Qatar Gas, there are three assets, is KG1, KG2, KG3, and 4. And Ras Gas, LG1, LG2, and LG3. How much is for Qatar Gas? Qatar Gas is produced 42 metric ton per annum. How about Ras Gas? Ras Gas is having 35 million ton per annum. So total 77 million ton per annum. But I think in 2018 Australia is become the largest LNG producer because so many projects there in Australia. So the next session is about LNG market. The LNG market for the Qatar gas is Japan and Spain, UK, US, China, and North America. What about the Ras Gas? Ras Gas is sending to South Korea, India, Europe, Asia, and China. Now, I will explain to you the advantages of LNG. Because the LNG is already converted to the liquid, it will be easy for transportation. And then the LNG also, the volume is reduced 610 compared then in the form of the gas itself. And then this natural gas is very friendly with the environmental effect. There is no environmental effect for the LNG. Virtually no ash, sludge, or hazardous waste is produced. Particulate emissions are approximately 95% less than burning coal. LNG has lowered sulfur dioxide emission by 100%, nitrogen oxide emission 75%, carbon dioxide emission by 50%. Okay, I think this the last session is about the question. If you have any question, just ask me now. I will try to answer your question. If you don't have question, you can send the question to my proper email. Here mentioned bsukmadi2005@yahoo.com. Okay, I think that's the all of my presentation today. Again, thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.